All right, let's dive in. Today we're going to be exploring business simulations.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, specifically how they're being used to teach and train.
Sounds interesting.
And
Yeah.
the really interesting thing is we've got this white paper. It's pretty insightful.
Hmm.
And it even kind of puts a spotlight on this company called Top S.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
They're
I
fun.
haven't heard of them.
I know, right? They're like a
Shoot.
major player in this whole simulation world.
Well, it's fascinating because a lot of people, I think, have this idea
Yeah.
that it's just, playing pretend CEO.
Right, like a game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what's really cool about this is that it's actually bridging this gap between
Yeah.
all that theory you get in textbooks
Right.
and actually, the real world pressures
Yeah, that makes sense.
of making business decisions.
Okay, so I have a question, though.
Mhm.
Where did these simulations even come from?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. I always kind of wondered that myself. Like, was it just some bored MBA student?
Right.
But you'd be surprised to find out that they actually go way back.
Really?
Yeah, like all the way back to the 1950s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I would not have guessed that.
yeah. They started out as like military strategy tools.
Make sense?
Yeah, for like simulating war games and
Okay.
battle scenarios.
So how do they go from,
Yeah, right.
war games to,
Yeah.
me trying to figure out how to open a restaurant?
Well, as computers evolved,
Yeah.
so did the simulations.
Right.
So
Mm.
instead of, moving little troops around on a map,
Uh-huh.
you could now move like inventory,
Yeah.
set prices, make
Yeah.
marketing decisions.
Right. Virtually.
All virtually, of course.
Okay. So.
Oh, and it wasn't long before
Mhm.
major institutions like
Mhm.
Harvard Business School
Oh, wow.
started using these computer-aided simulations as teaching tools.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But why are they so effective?
Yeah, that's the key question.
Is it just,
Is it just the fun factor?
is it just that it's fun?
It's definitely more than fun.
Okay.
Although a little fun never hurts.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
the real power of simulations is in their ability to
Mhm.
basically to create this risk-free environment for
Yeah.
experimentation.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
You think about it in a simulation,
Yeah.
you can test out like all these different strategies,
Right.
see how they play out, and like
Well.
really learn from your mistakes
Yeah.
without any of the real-world consequences.
Yeah. That's smart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like having a business sandbox.
I like that.
Right?
Okay, I need
Where
to
you
see the
can,
analogy.
yeah, where you can build castles and knock them down
Uh-huh.
without losing any real money.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
And,
Mm.
that's incredibly valuable, especially like for developing skills like
Yeah.
decision making, critical thinking, even teamwork.
Mhm.
In fact, the white paper actually points out that simulations are now being used
Okay.
in over 70% of the business schools in Europe and America.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're becoming like.
Yeah. It's a
The
more
go-to
strong
thing.
endorsement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me more about Top Boss S.
Okay.
What kind of simulations do they create?
Well, Topbot, they're based in Taiwan,
Okay.
and they've kind of been a leader in developing these simulations, especially in Asia.
Okay.
They've partnered with universities and businesses in several countries
Mhm.
to create this really diverse portfolio
Okay.
of software.
Well, I like it.
Each one's designed to
Yeah.
teach specific skills or simulate specific industries.
All right. Let's dive into some examples.
Okay.
One that immediately caught my eye
Mm.
is this management dashboard or MBS.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know,
MBS.
what is that one?
So MBS is all about giving learners a holistic view
Okay.
of what it takes to manage a company.
Right.
So imagine you're suddenly the CEO
Yep.
and you have to make decisions on everything, pricing, marketing, production, finance.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting
Yeah.
is that it throws you all these curveballs,
Like what?
like fluctuating market conditions,
Okay.
competitor moves.
Right.
It's not just like a static environment.
Yeah.
Things are constantly changing and you have
Right.
to adapt.
Right.
So it's kind of like a business choose your own adventure,
Uh-huh.
but with spreadsheets and profit margins
big
instead of
one.
dragons and dungeons.
I was going to say, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
the best part is if
Yep.
if your company goes bankrupt in this simulation,
Right.
you don't actually lose your job.
Right. Yeah. No real world consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic way to learn from your mistakes,
Yeah.
develop that all-important business intuition.
And, the white paper even mentioned
Yeah.
that MBS is being used not just in universities, but also in executive training programs.
It is, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's got some real world relevance.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of highlights the fact that
Yeah.
these simulations aren't just for students.
Right.
They're valuable for
Right.
anyone who's looking to
Okay.
sharpen their business acumen, whether they're just starting out
Yeah.
or already leading a company.
Okay. So MBS sounds pretty intense.
It is, yeah.
What about something a little more specific, like maybe retail?
No.
I think they have a simulation called Strategy Retail Master
Oh, yes. SRM.
or
yeah.
SRM.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
So SRM, this is a retail enthusiast's dream come true.
Okay.
You get to manage your own chain of virtual stores.
Cool.
You make all the crucial decisions, like
Right.
where to open new locations,
Okay.
how to price your products, how much inventory to keep on hand.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
here's the kicker.
Okay.
You're directly competing
Oh,
against other virtual retailers,
interesting.
trying to win over those customers and snag that market share.
Ooh, competition.
Yeah.
So this is like my lemonade stand days.
Your lemonade stand showdowns.
Yeah. But way more sophisticated.
But way more sophisticated, yes.
Right.
What are some of the challenges in SRM?
One of the big ones is understanding this concept of market segmentation.
Oh, yeah.
Figuring out who your target customers are,
Yeah.
how to tailor your offerings to their needs and preferences.
Okay.
It's not enough to just
Right.
stock the shelves with random products.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You have to be strategic
Uh-huh.
about what you sell and how you market it.
I remember when I was learning about market segmentation,
Yeah.
it was so abstract.
It is.
Like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
I feel like this would have really helped.
That's the beauty of these simulations. They take these abstract concepts
Yeah.
and make them tangible, actionable.
Right, right.
So instead of just reading about it in a textbook,
Yeah.
you're actually experiencing it,
Right.
making decisions based on it, and
Right.
you see the impact
Got
of
it.
those decisions
Yeah.
on your virtual bottom line.
Okay, let's move on to another one.
Okay.
Marketing winner, or MW.
Oh, yeah, MW.
This one seems like
yeah,
gamification central.
it really leans into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gamification aspect.
What's it all about?
So MW is all about developing your marketing strategy in this fun, competitive environment.
Okay.
So you're given a virtual company,
Mhm.
a set of marketing tools,
Okay.
and your mission is to outmaneuver your rivals
Right.
and maximize economic value.
Okay.
It's like a
So it's like a,
high-stakes marketing chess match.
yeah.
Yeah.
But instead of sacrificing pawns,
Right. But instead of sacrificing pawns, you're making decisions about
right, you're making marketing decisions.
branding,
Right.
pricing, advertising.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. And, it's not just about all the flashy stuff.
Right?
It also delves into, the nitty-gritty of market research.
Yeah.
The white paper mentions this scenario
Okay.
where you have to, conduct surveys,
Okay.
analyze data
Uh-huh.
to understand consumer preferences
Right.
before launching a new product.
Yeah.
So it really forces you to, think like a marketer.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely adding MW to a list.
Right.
Let's talk about Restaurant Management Guru.
Oh, yeah.
This one.
A classic.
Yeah, I mean,
Who doesn't love?
who doesn't love a good restaurant sim?
Yeah, a good restaurant sim.
What's this one all about?
So this one's especially cool
Mm.
because it simulates the entire life cycle
Okay.
of a restaurant business.
Wow. Okay.
So you start with an idea,
Uh-huh.
develop a concept, find a location,
Okay.
create a menu, hire staff.
Mhm.
You're involved in every step
Wow, that's cool.
from that initial vision to
Right.
the day-to-day operations.
So you're not just
No.
flipping virtual burgers.
Right. It's you're dealing with all
Right.
those behind-the-scenes challenges
Right.
of running a real restaurant.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you have to manage your inventory, deal with suppliers, set prices, handle marketing and promotion.
Wow.
Even deal with customer complaints. It gives you a real taste
Yeah.
of what it's like to be a restaurateur.
No, my lemonade stand did not go so well.
Oh, no.
Maybe this simulation could have helped me out.
That's what's so great about these simulations. You
Well,
know,
thank
they
you.
let you learn from your mistakes
Right.
without actually
Yeah, because
having to suffer the real world consequences.
Right.
And in the case of RMG,
Mhm.
it's not just theoretical.
Right.
The white paper actually mentions
Yeah.
that it was co-developed with the hospitality university.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's actually used in their teaching and competitions.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like a
Yeah, a stamp of
cruise
approval.
stamp of approval
Yeah.
from the culinary experts.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We've covered quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
What other kinds of business challenges
Yeah.
can these simulations tackle?
Oh. We've only just scratched the surface.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top Boss has actually created simulations
Yeah.
for everything from like managing a car dealership
Yeah.
to running a hotel to
Yeah.
navigating the world of finance.
Oh,
And the applications go way beyond just business schools.
Got
You know, they're being used in
Oh.
corporate training programs, government initiatives,
oh wow.
even investor education programs.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's keep going. Let's
Yeah.
delve into some of these other simulations
Right.
and see what they have to offer.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears and explore
Okay.
the world of automobiles with Top Boss S's
Mhm.
Vehicle Business Master Simulation.
Oh, it's,
So, are you ready to
yeah.
trade in your chef's hat
Okay.
for a steering wheel?
All right, I'm in.
This simulation puts you in the driver's seat
Okay,
of a multi-store car dealership.
sign me up.
Okay.
Although, to be honest, my car knowledge is pretty limited.
Uh-oh.
Like, I can fill the gas tank,
Okay.
and I know which way to turn the steering wheel.
Well, get ready for a crash course. Okay, all right. So Vehicle Business Master, or
Uh-huh.
VBM for short,
Yeah.
it goes way beyond just selling cars.
Okay.
You know, you're responsible for
Mhm.
managing inventory, crafting those marketing campaigns, building customer relationships,
Mhm.
and even navigating like the transition to electric vehicles,
No, right.
which is a pretty big deal these days.
Yeah, that is a big deal.
Yeah.
I can barely keep up with the latest
Yeah.
smartphones, let alone
Yeah.
cars.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
In fact, the white paper mentions that
Hmm.
one of the key learning objectives
Hmm.
of VBM
Yeah.
is to actually help participants understand how these trends, like electric vehicles and autonomous driving,
No
are
way.
really like reshaping the automotive landscape.
Right, yeah.
So it's not just about
Uh.
selling what's on the lot today. It's
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
anticipating what customers will want tomorrow.
Okay, so VBM has definitely moved up on my list.
Right.
From fun car game
Oh,
to like strategic business challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
All right. So from horsepower to hospitality,
Okay.
let's check into Top Boss's
Oh, okay.
Hotel Revenue Management Business Simulation, or
Uh-huh.
HMS for short.
All right, I'm intrigued.
Okay.
So,
Well-
I have definitely experienced the
Yeah.
frustration
Yeah.
of trying to book a hotel room during peak season
Mm.
and seeing those like
Yeah.
sky-high prices.
Yeah.
Is this simulation going to teach me?
Maybe how to become a hotel pricing wizard.
Okay.
So HMS actually focuses on this very specific skill set
Okay.
of maximizing revenue for a hotel.
Okay.
So you have to grapple with questions like, how do I adjust pricing based on demand?
Right.
What's the best way to manage occupancy rates?
Hmm.
Should I offer special packages or promotions?
Right.
It's all about finding that sweet spot
Right.
where you're attracting guests,
Yeah.
but also ensuring profitability.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a puzzle where
Okay.
you're constantly shifting pieces around,
Okay.
room rates,
Yeah.
occupancy levels,
Got it.
so special offers,
Okay.
trying to create that most profitable picture.
I like it.
Yeah.
So it's not just about like
Right.
jacking up the prices
Right.
when demand
You
starts
get to consider all these factors,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
competitor pricing,
I-
seasonal trends,
right?
even events
Mm.
happening in the area.
Okay.
It's a lot to juggle.
Yeah. This is making me realize
Hmm.
how much strategy goes into like
Yeah,
booking a hotel room.
absolutely.
Wow.
And that's why HMS is so valuable
Yeah.
for anyone in the hospitality industry, from
Yeah.
hotel managers to like revenue analysts.
Okay, let's shift gears again.
Oh.
What about the retail world?
Okay.
We talked about
Yeah.
managing a chain of stores.
Uh-huh.
What about like the challenges of
Mm.
running a single,
Okay.
like fast-paced convenience store?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So Top Bot Us actually has that covered too.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
Oh.
they have this simulation called Retail Expert,
Mhm.
and it really dives deep into that world.
Okay.
And as you might guess,
Yeah.
it's all about being adaptable.
Adaptable.
Yeah.
More so than the
Oh,
chain
yeah.
of stores.
I think so.
All right.
Think about it. A convenience store is often like
Yeah.
a neighborhood hub.
Right.
It's catering to like the immediate needs
Yeah.
of those local customers.
Okay.
And the white paper highlights how the simulation incorporates all these
Yeah.
factors, like market segmentation,
Right.
are you in a busy downtown area
Wow.
or a quiet residential neighborhood,
Building.
even weather patterns,
Right.
which can have a huge impact
Oh.
on what people are buying.
Yeah, if there's a heat wave,
Exactly.
I got to stock up on ice cream.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be constantly like monitoring these external factors,
Okay.
adjusting your inventory, pricing,
Yeah.
even staffing levels
Oh.
accordingly.
Okay.
So it's a fantastic way to
Okay.
learn how to think on your feet,
Right.
make quick decisions
Mm.
in a really dynamic environment.
Okay, so speaking of thinking on your feet, do any of these simulations tackle the restaurant world
Okay.
from a more,
Yeah.
shall we say, fast food perspective?
Well, funny you should ask.
Okay.
Top Bias actually has a simulation called Quite Simply
Okay.
Burger King.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Okay, so I'm picturing like virtual deep fryers
Yeah.
and endless lines
Yeah.
of customers
Right.
clamoring for virtual Whoppers.
Exactly.
What's the learning focus here?
Well, while it might sound lighthearted,
Yeah.
TB, as it's called,
Okay.
is a clever way
Mhm.
to teach these like
Right.
fundamental
Yeah.
accounting and finance principles.
Yeah.
You're in charge of a virtual fast food restaurant,
Right.
making decisions about
Yeah.
pricing, inventory, staffing,
Yeah.
everything that goes into
Right.
keeping those virtual burgers flipping
Right.
and the virtual cash register ringing.
Okay, so even a seemingly simple business like this
Eh.
has some serious financial planning.
You bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The white paper mentions how TB helps learners grasp these concepts like
Got it.
cash flow management,
Ah.
cost control,
Right.
profit maximization. These are all essential skills
Yeah, that makes sense.
for any business owner, not just those in the food industry.
Right. You need to
You
understand
see
the
this basic finances.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What other adventures await us? Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Let's tap into the world of supply chain management with their
let's-
cleverly named
Mhm.
beer game.
Okay. I'm in.
All right, now we're talking. So, are you ready to
Yes.
learn about supply chains?
Yeah.
Hopefully there's a virtual beer at the end of it.
Hopefully, I was going to say.
Right.
it.
Well, the beer is virtual,
Okay.
but the lessons are very real.
Okay.
This simulation puts you in charge of
Hmm.
managing inventory and distribution
Okay.
for, you guessed it,
Beer.
beer.
Right.
But here's the catch.
Yeah.
You're part of a larger chain
Hmm.
that includes
Yeah.
a retailer,
Okay.
a wholesaler, a distributor,
Right.
and a factory.
Okay. So I'm not just worried about my own virtual beer.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's all about
Mhm.
understanding
Yeah.
how your decisions impact that
Mhm.
entire chain.
Okay.
So the goal is to
Right.
meet that customer demand
Okay.
while minimizing costs.
Right. Simple enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds simple enough.
Yeah.
But the white paper actually highlights
Okay.
how even small delays or miscommunications
Uh-huh.
can snowball
Yeah. Oh,
into
great.
huge problems.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It creates this phenomenon known as the bullwhip effect.
The bullwhip effect.
The bullwhip effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds painful.
It can be,
Yeah.
at least for your virtual bottom line.
Yeah. Okay.
So imagine this.
Yeah.
A retailer
Mhm.
slightly overestimates demand
Okay.
and orders a bit too much beer.
Right.
The wholesaler,
Yeah.
seeing this increase in orders,
Yeah.
assumes that demand is surging. Right. Okay.
And orders even more from the
Mm.
distributor.
Mm.
And the distributor, in turn, panics and places a huge order with the factory.
Okay.
So by the time the beer actually reaches the retailer,
Yeah.
demand has leveled off.
Right.
And they're left with this surplus
Oh, wow.
of unsold beer.
Okay, so it's like this ripple effect.
Yeah. It's a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the point of the beer game. to illustrate how these seemingly small decisions can ripple through a complex system and lead to all these unexpected consequences.
Okay, so it's not just about beer then.
No.
It's like a lesson in...
It's a lesson in systems thinking, communication, collaboration.
Okay, yeah, I can see how this applies to all sorts of things.
Absolutely.
Project management, team dynamics.
Yeah.
Even just understanding how things work in the real world.
Right. It applies to any system.
Where there are interconnected parts and a flow of resources.
Okay, interesting.
So, ready to put your chef's hat back on?
Okay, I'm ready.
We've got one more restaurant simulation to explore. It's called My Bistro, or MB.
Ooh, a bistro.
Yeah.
That sounds a little fancier.
A little more upscale.
Than our burger joint.
Right. What are the challenges here? So MB is all about experiencing all the joys and headaches of running like a small independent restaurant.
Right.
You know, you handle everything from menu planning, procurement, marketing, managing staff.
So it's a real entrepreneurial challenge.
It is. It focuses on like those day-to-day operations and the crucial decisions that make or break a small business.
I imagine the competition in the restaurant world is fierce.
It is, yeah. So
is there a virtual Michelin critic in this simulation?
Not quite.
Okay.
But it does incorporate all these external factors.
Okay, like what?
Like seasonal demand, local events, even the weather, which can impact
of course.
Foot traffic and those customer preferences.
You can't just assume people are going to want a hearty stew on a hot summer day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
MB forces you to be adaptable, adjust your menu, your pricing, your marketing, everything to stay ahead of the curve and keep those virtual customers coming back for more.
Okay, so I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah. What's that?
Adaptability seems to be a pretty crucial skill.
Yeah, you're spot on.
Okay.
In today's world, being able to adapt to new information, new trends, new challenges is essential.
Okay, let's step out of the kitchen now and into the world of finance.
Great.
I see Top by ISS has a simulation called Wall Street Tycoon.
Oh, yeah.
Is this where I finally learned the secret to picking winning stocks?
Well, it might not turn you into the next Wolf of Wall Street.
All right.
But it will give you like a deeper understanding of how those financial markets operate.
Okay.
So this simulation actually walks you through the process of taking a company public.
Oh, wow.
An IPO.
An IPO. That's
a complex process.
Yeah.
But Wall Street Tycoon breaks it down into manageable steps.
Right.
You have to analyze those financial statements, make those investment decisions, navigate those regulatory hurdles, and ultimately convince investors to buy into your company's vision.
Okay.
So it's like a crash course in corporate finance and the dynamics
of the stock market.
You know, I've always been so intimidated by financial statements.
They can be daunting.
Yeah, it's just a jumble of numbers to me.
I get it.
Yeah.
But simulations like this can actually make them more approachable by showing you how those numbers translate to those real-world decisions and outcomes.
Yeah, instead of just memorizing the definition.
You're actually using them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And the white paper highlights how Wall Street Tycoon has been used not only in university finance courses, but also in investor education programs.
Okay.
So it's a great example of how simulations can democratize knowledge and make these complex topics more accessible.
Okay, so we've covered cars, hotels, restaurants, the stock market.
Stock market.
What else is in Top Boss's arsenal? All right, we have one more stop on our simulation world tour.
Right, I'm ready.
Let's venture into the realm of e-commerce.
Okay.
With Top Boss's e-commerce big boss simulation.
E-commerce big boss.
Or ECB.
ECB. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this where I learned the secret? Becoming the next Jeff Bezos?
Just maybe. All right. So ECB focuses on the ins and outs of running an online business.
Okay.
Everything from like setting up your virtual storefront, managing inventory, fulfilling those orders.
So it's kind of like those online shop games I used to play as a kid.
Right.
But
way more realistic.
Yeah, much harder.
And challenging.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the grown-up business savvy version of those games.
Right.
And ECB goes beyond just the basics.
Okay.
It emphasizes the complexities of cross-border e-commerce.
Cross-border.
Yeah.
So I'm not just like selling to people in my own country.
No, you're venturing into the global marketplace, which means you're dealing with different currencies, languages, cultures.
Okay.
Even those legal regulations.
Oh, wow. That sounds...
It's a lot.
Yeah. Very complicated.
It's definitely not for the faint of heart.
Okay.
But the white paper actually mentions that ECB is being used not just in business schools, but also in government-sponsored training programs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
To help entrepreneurs expand their businesses internationally.
Wow. That's really cool.
It is.
It's like these simulations are helping...
They are.
All over the world learn how to, like, grow their businesses.
It's all about equipping people
Yeah.
with the skills and knowledge they need to thrive. Okay.
In this increasingly interconnected world.
Okay, so we've journeyed through this whole world of simulations today.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how, like, these virtual experiences can provide so many insights and learning opportunities.
It makes you wonder, like, what's next for the world of simulations?
Yeah.
What new challenges will they tackle?
Right.
What new possibilities will they unlock?
It's really mind-blowing to think how far they've come from those early war games to these like
sophisticated challenges. What's next?
Yeah, what is
like? Are we going to be stepping into
maybe
VR world
to
learn about supply chain management?
It's not as far-fetched as it sounds.
Okay.
You know, we're already seeing
simulations that incorporate real-time data feeds, personalized feedback, powered by AI.
Okay.
Even elements of virtual reality.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So imagine a simulation where you can walk through your virtual factory, interact with like AI-powered employees, and see the impact of your decisions play out in a 3D environment.
So we've gone from mind-blowing to straight-up sci-fi.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like it.
But seriously, though, those advancements could make learning so much more engaging and effective.
Well, what about using simulations to tackle, like, larger-scale challenges?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Like, could we simulate ways to address climate change?
Right.
Or global poverty?
Yeah. It's a fascinating question, and I think it speaks to, like, the untapped potential of simulations. You know, we focused on how they can train individuals.
Right.
But what if we could use them to help groups make better decisions?
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Like, imagine a simulation that brings together policymakers, scientists, community leaders to experiment with different solutions to this complex problem, like climate change.
Yeah.
It could really help them understand, like, the interconnectedness of the issues and find more effective strategies.
So we're taking this concept of a business simulation and applying it to the biggest challenge.
To the big stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does this all mean for our listener?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah, why should they care?
Well, I think it means that the way we learn, the way we work, and even the way we solve problems is about to change dramatically. And simulations offer a glimpse into that future.
Right.
A future where learning is more engaging, more personalized, more accessible.
Right.
They really empower us to, like, take those risks, make those mistakes, and become better decision makers, whether we're running a business, leading a team, or tackling those global challenges.
It's like we're on the cusp of a simulation revolution.
It really is.
And who knows? Maybe there's the Top IS simulation out there that, like, sparks your curiosity or helps you discover a new passion.
I encourage you to check out their work. You might be surprised by what you find.
And on that note of possibility
Yeah.
and discovery.
Yeah.
We've reached the end,
Yeah.
our deep dive
Done it.
into the world of business simulation.
Business simulation.
But the exploration doesn't have to end here.
No, it doesn't. Keep asking those questions. Keep challenging those assumptions, and keep an eye out for those aha moments that can spark those new ideas and lead you down unexpected paths.
Okay, great advice.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Keep learning.
Keep learning.
Keep growing.
And keep simulating.
Yeah, keep simulating.
The distributor, in turn, panics and places a huge order with the factory.
Oh, wow.
So by the time the beer actually reaches the retailer, demand has leveled off.
Right.
And they're left with this surplus of unsold beer.
Yikes. That sounds like a logistical nightmare. It is. And that's like the point of the beer game, to show how these seemingly small decisions can have this like ripple effect through a complex system and lead to like these unintended consequences.
So it's a good lesson in system thinking,
communication, and
collaboration.
Exactly.
You know, I can see how this applies to a lot more than just business.
Absolutely. It applies to any system where there are, you know, interconnected parts and a flow of resources.
Okay, cool.
All right. So, ready to put that chef's hat back on?
I'm ready.
Okay. We've got one more restaurant simulation to explore.
Okay, Yippee.
This one's called My Bistro, or MB.
Okay, a bistro.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds a little
more upscale
than our burger joint.
Right.
What are the challenges in My Bistro?
So MB is all about like experiencing the joys and headaches of running a small independent restaurant.
Right.
So you handle everything from menu planning and procurement to marketing and managing staff.
So it's like a true
entrepreneurial challenge. It focuses on those day-to-day operations and the crucial decisions that, you know, make or break a small business.
I imagine the competition must be fierce.
It is.
In the restaurant world.
So
is there a virtual Michelin critic lurking?
Not quite.
Okay.
But the simulation does incorporate external factors like seasonal demand, local events, even the weather.
Makes sense.
Which can impact
of course.
Foot traffic and customer preferences.
You can't assume that people are going to want
you
know, a hearty stew on a sweltering hot day.
Exactly.
So MB really forces you to...
It does. It forces you to be adaptable, adjust your menu, your pricing, your marketing, everything.
To stay ahead of the curve.
To stay ahead of the curve.
All right, let's step out of the kitchen and into the world of finance.
Let's do it.
Top by SS has this simulation called Wall Street Tycoon.
Oh, Wall Street Tycoon.
Is this where I learned the secret to picking winning stocks?
Well, it might not turn you into the next Wolf of Wall Street, but it will give you a deeper understanding of how the financial markets operate. This simulation walks you through the process of taking a company public.
Wow.
An IPO.
An IPO. Okay, that sounds exciting.
It's a complex process. But Wall Street Tycoon breaks it down into these manageable steps.
Okay, so what do I got to do?
You have to analyze
those financial statements. Make investment decisions. Navigate those regulatory hurdles. And ultimately convince investors to buy into your company's vision.
So it's like a crash course.
It is. It's like a crash course.
In corporate finance.
In corporate finance.
And the stock market.
And the dynamics of the stock market.
You know, I've always been kind of intimidated.
Yeah, they can be.
By financial statements.
They can be pretty daunting.
Yeah, it's just a jumble of numbers.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But simulations like this can make those statements more approachable. By showing how those numbers translate to real-world decisions and outcomes.
Instead of just memorizing definitions.
Yeah, exactly. You're actually using...
I like that.
You're actually using those concepts to make decisions in a simulated environment.
And the white paper mentions that Wall Street Tycoon is being used.
Not just in university finance courses, but also in investor education programs.
Exactly. It's a great example of how simulations can democratize that knowledge and make these complex topics solve-esthetic.
So covered a lot of ground today.
We've talked about cars, hotels,
restaurants, supply chains,
even
launching IPOs.
It's pretty amazing.
It really is.
To see how these virtual experiences provide so many insights and learning opportunities.
So what's next?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
What is next for simulations?
Where do we go from here?
What new challenges will they tackle? What new possibilities will they unlock?
It's really mind-blowing to think about how far simulations have come.
It is.
From those early war games to these sophisticated business challenges.
Business challenges.
So, I mean, are we going to be stepping into
we might be
VR worlds to learn about supply chain management?
It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. We are already seeing simulations that incorporate things like real-time data feeds, personalized feedback powered by AI, even elements of virtual reality.
Yeah, I can see that.
So imagine a simulation where you can walk through your virtual factory, interact with AI-powered employees, and see the impact of your decisions play out in a 3D environment.
So we've gone from mind-blowing to straight-up sci-fi.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But those advancements could make learning even more engaging and effective.
What about using simulations to tackle those larger scale challenges?
That's a fascinating question. And I think it speaks to the untapped potential of simulations.
So we focused on how they can train individuals.
We have.
But what if we could use them to help groups make better decisions?
It's a great idea.
Like, imagine a simulation that brings together policymakers, scientists, community leaders to experiment with different solutions to these complex problems.
Yeah,
like climate change.
Right, exactly.
So we're taking this business simulation idea and applying it to
the big stuff.
The really big issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what does this mean for our listener?
That's the big question, right?
Why should they care?
Well, I think it means that the way we learn, the way we work, even the way we solve problems is about to change. And simulations offer this glimpse into that future. A future where learning is more engaging, more personalized, more accessible.
Right, yeah.
They empower us to take risks, make mistakes, and become better decision makers. Whether we're running a business, leading a team, or tackling those global challenges.
So we're on the cusp of, a simulation revolution.
We really are.
And who knows, maybe there's a Top Boss simulation out there that sparks your curiosity or even helps you discover a new passion.
I encourage you to check out their work. You might be surprised by what you find.
So on that note of possibility and discovery, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of business simulation. But the exploration doesn't end here.
It doesn't. Keep asking those questions. Keep challenging those assumptions. And keep an eye out for those aha moments that spark new ideas and lead you down unexpected paths.
Great advice.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.
Keep
learning.
Keep growing.
Keep growing.
And keep simulating.
And keep simulating.